like you can tell if somebody's really into it because of the art, or if they're in it for the hype through that. I feel like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm a I'm weird because I am like a introverted extrovert. Like,
Same. It's the worst combination. Like, oh
yeah,
my.
yeah, it's strange because I mean, growing up since I was homeschooled, I have friends, but like I hung out with such a small number of friends, and then that friend group kind of a lot of them moved on and did other stuff, and then like I have friends from just like extracurricular activities, but I would see them probably like once a week. So like for the most part, I spent a lot of time just kind of by myself. And this was still like middle school, high school, so like I didn't have a license, so it's not like I could just go out places. So I was really just a lot of times just if I wasn't hanging out with a few of my friends, I would just be at home making music. And I pretty much just wanted to do that. Like I want to dedicate all my time to just learning how this stuff works because this is what I want to do. And a lot of it was just kind of proven to my family too, like that, I was taking it seriously. And I wanted to be great at it. I didn't want to be mediocre. I didn't want to be average. I was like, if I'm gonna make music, like I want to be like really, really good at doing this. Um, so that took me like I tell people I started 2014, but I really didn't get into like doing it as a business until like 2019. Um, because so many years was just me just sitting playing around learning how to synthesize. Like I would have a synthesizer and figure out how to make my own sounds. um I figure out how to mix, I figure out how to make crazy drops, and so it was a lot of time figuring out how to do that. And then I got to college and became pretty extroverted. Pretty extroverted.
Like looking up, like remembering stuff. Like, yep, yep, I did that.
Yeah, like I mean, I was still pretty chill. 'Cause I'm always chill, but I connected with a lot of the music people there. But I started to go out, and go to bars and a few parties, and even in that, it was cool because like I don't really drink like that either. Like I used to drink wine and beer every now and then, but I don't do it as often now. I don't really do anything else either, honestly. So when I
That's
go out, like I would pretty much be completely sober. And to this day, like we'll still, if we go out somewhere, I'm still pretty much completely sober, but I'm still having a good time. Like, but it's still dope to go out and see, like, even if you're at a club or something, like, and people are dancing, see how music moves people. Um, so even then, like, I'm always sitting thinking, like, oh man, like the way this drum beat is playing in this club, and like people are moving to that beat, like that's cool. That's something I can implement. Um, so I kind of look at it like that now. There's still a lot of times I like to just be at home working. Um, and then there's times I like to, go out and chill a bit and live life a bit. I mean, I feel like that's now kind of how I come up with a lot of dope ideas. Um, to where it's like, wow, like I guess it's cool to go out and get some experience so I have some things to write about.
yeah.
Um,
Like, I think it's so funny because like I also had the thing of like really isolating myself because I was like, no, I gotta get all this done. I gotta like create. I gotta like, you're like put so much pressure on yourself. But art is emotions. You gotta go out and live life to have energy that comes back into you to create. Like, what do you want to create out of if you're sitting 24 hours in your room? Like, you can, I can probably like draw pretty depressing pictures at that time,
mhm,
but it's
mhm.
like we're expressing our emotions with that. And I also think it's so funny. Wait, did you want to like, did you had like another thought? You want to finish? I kind of felt like
Go
I
ahead,
just,
go ahead. No, 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 go ahead, go ahead,
because
go ahead.
I became so like into all like living too much in my own world, and I just like I really want to like be like totally honest on here. And I think it's like really hard sometimes to like admit these things that like it actually comes with that. But yeah, I was like so caught up in my own like world that it was actually like scary, like not scary to go out or anything, but I felt so surreal sometimes in moments when like I saw like also I'm like I also like I don't really do anything, and then you're like standing in a club or anything, or like the JID concert I just went recently to. I stood there and I was like, wow, I'm missing out on life. I'm missing out on everything. This is actually embarrassing. I'm 25 years old and like these 21 years old having so much fun, and I feel not scared but like weird being here. And
Yeah,
but that also, like you said, like when you're in a club and you hear like those like drums or whatever, and you like get super inspired by it, like,
yeah,
I actually I went on the concert and I got so mad at myself because I was like, I don't want to be behind this fence. I want to be like I want to be the videographer or something. And I was just looking at the people. I was like, no, I got to enjoy the concert. And I was like, still looking at the people who are like, creating images of whatever. And I thought, wow, this is so cool. I love this is why I love this. I got to allow myself to actually like live it, to
mhm,
yeah, to like create from it. Like
yeah, and I mean, yeah, experiences is such a dope thing, and I literally because I just turned 25 in May, and
oh, I'm not even
I really,
25, I lied.
oh,
I just, like,
they,
for some reason I thought I'm like
yeah, I feel that. Yeah, no, I had just turned 25, and I don't know. One of my biggest things I found was just enjoying like small things in life too. Like it doesn't have to be just like some big grand like, hey guys, we're gonna go to this concert every weekend. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. It's like no, like I also enjoy just going for a walk, but sometimes no music and no sound. Like I'll just go and walk with nothing, and I'll see deer and rabbits and just love it. Like oh my, this is so great. Like I just feel so inspired, and I'll go sit at a coffee shop and just chill, or just go have a convo with a friend of mine, and just all from that, it's like wow, like I got new experiences that I can write about or make music to, and even with working with artists, like I always tell people, like as a producer, in a way, you're kind of like a therapist because you know artists will come in and to the studio and you never know how they're feeling because they're experiencing life. So that's why it's like as a producer I don't like to just sit and I'm gonna make 100 beats today and send out 100 beat packs because it's like okay, like if I need to send a beat to Kendrick Lamar and he's in a terrible mood, something crazy happened, and I'm over here sending him hyper pop beats, like like it just it don't make sense. So uh I kind of like to get in and know the artist because it's like, hey, like, yeah, how you doing today? Like, oh man, like I just broke up with my girl or something. It's like, okay, like now we know and we can have a conversation. We might talk the whole session, or we might talk, and then while they're talking I might pull up a beat or a melody or play something that might resonate with them. And sometimes that's how you get some of the best records, so where it's like okay, now you can really just pour your heart out because we made the beat and you can get your message across. So I feel like we need more of that instead of just like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna send you a whole
yeah.
beat pack of stuff, and you just gotta click through of everything that you might like. Like, no, like what resonates with you? Like, let's just build something uh from scratch. And yeah, everybody just that's all I feel like life is just a whole combination of experiences.
Yeah.
Like even going back with the nostalgia thing, right? Like we like those songs because of the experiences that we went through with those songs. Even
Yeah,
with newer songs, there could be a song that came out, uh, I don't know, recently. Like I don't even know what came out recently that I was listening to, but um, yeah, like Dominic Fike's new album is good, right? Like so, it's like okay, um, Jid's album amazing. Like okay, yeah, I remember when that album came out, and I remember where I was at and what experiences I had with that. So, you know, yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. It's all experiences. We
yeah.
didn't make those experiences. Can't
That.
sit it up.
Oh, I'm so
You gotta
sorry.
be out.
But that is it. It's so crazy because like that's really the like reason why I call the whole like podcast basically Divine Chaos, because it's just
Yeah,
like life is basically just like whole chaos of like experiences and all that, and everybody's like kind of trying to like, or they act like they're having any clue, you know what I mean? But we
yeah,
don't have a clue about anything, and there's
right,
no like, oh, this was a right decision or wrong decision. You never know what comes with anything, you know?
right.
And the only thing we kind of, in the art world or just in general world, should be doing, and that sounds maybe also a little cheesy, but like kind of basically just like trust in the universal love or anything, you know? And the love of just like doing these things. I mean, for example, also you said, for example, I mean, you know Rick Rubin, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like he has no idea about music, but like he says that, oh, I don't know how to play a guitar or something. Like, don't quote me on that, but
yeah.
he just like,
We gonna
you know,
post a video the next day.
he goes, he goes in the studio and creates whatever. Like that's also what I've a little tried to do. I'm not comparing myself to Rick Rubin right now, but but I always just kind of wanted to. I know a person has like a feeling or like something they want to put out in the world, or
Right.
like a vision for me with like art, like for example an album cover or something. They have a vision or something, and my I saw it as my job kind of to like get out of what they like the vibe they want to have, and I'm the person who can, I have the skill of drawing. So
Mm,
to translate that into something they want, not that what I want, and that's what you kind of have been like saying, to like see these people as like these people like artists, like as a regular person that's going through something maybe, and the
mm.
like you said, if you send like Henrik Lamar or whatever like a crazy beat that he doesn't like, it doesn't mean the beat isn't good, but it just means he doesn't resonate with it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. And it you know, it's difficult going and doing some things because I have a convo with a few friends of mine about this. Like how you saying you went to the concert and it's like, oh, I want to be doing this and this and like, yeah, it's hard because like I even feel that when I went to go see what was the last concert I went to go see? Paramore.
Oh,
Yeah, saw Paramore and seeing them on stage and hearing people jam out to their music, it's like, oh, like that's so cool. Like I want it to where, people are jamming out stuff that I made. So it's it's a fine line because it's like, yeah, like go out and do some things, but also at the same time, it's like, oh, like I'm nowhere near where I want to be yet. So, it's kind of still hard to enjoy certain things because it's just like, oh, no, like I need to be at home doing this. Like,
like the
it's
drive, like you actually get mad about it, you know?
yeah, and it's a fine line.
You're
I
stupid,
feel like,
like
yeah,
do what you just did. Yeah, I just did that, but I don't care. Like, I have a different goal, like, and I'm not there yet. Like, we,
yeah,
it's really hard sometimes to like enjoy the way of like becoming where we want to be, because like, I feel like you also kind of know that because lots of people are talking about it. If
mhm.
you made it, like if you made your dream, you're probably going to be super unhappy because you have nothing to thrive for anymore.
And to like, I mean, I feel like also looking because I literally just had this moment a few weeks ago, like looking at where you're at now, right? Like we know where like the stratosphere to where like where we want to be at is like, yo, like I want to sell millions of records, Grammys, da 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 da. I'm sure for you, it's like, yo, I want to just have the craziest art pieces people are going to talk about for decades to come. So many artists, people, inspired people. Like I'm rich off it. I'm doing this and this, and like, yeah, that's the goal. But also, it's like, wow, like you also have to think, you know, me 5 to 10 years ago could only imagine right now, right? Like there's people I've got to sit in the studio with and work with that even 3, 4 years ago, I would have been like, wow, like, are you kidding me? Like that's crazy. And, same for you. Like having I saw like with Jid with your art piece, it's like, wow, like that's so dope. Like, could you like we know like okay, we're dope and we're gonna get to those levels, but to already hit certain milestones, I think a lot of people kind of forget to appreciate, or not so much appreciate, but like to actually realize. Like, so when you actually sit and think, like, wow, like
Yeah, we don't give
this,
ourselves credit. Like
yeah,
hard.
so,
Like
yeah. So I kind of had that realization, like, wow, like that's pretty cool. Like, I'm nowhere where I need to be yet, but I have made progress. I'm going up. I'm not, going back. Um, yeah, I feel like a lot of people also have to see that too. Like, wow, like I got to work with this person. I got to have this person see my art. I got to connect with this person. I got to meet this person. So yeah, stuff's cool.
yeah, I think it's like a we kind of need like those strategies a little because like we get so into like where what we sometimes just see what we don't have because like also honestly lots of this like the stuff that I like was allowed to actually witness like I still see it as like a how did I how why was I allowed to like be in that studio to talk to that person or whatever. Like most of the stuff is not even like I didn't try to publish it or anything because I just
Mm-hmm.
was still it felt surreal and it felt like, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
like we just sometimes focus so much on what we don't have like we focus so much on like the downside not even on like the level of what we don't have like materialistically or how far we've come in the career but we doubt ourselves so much in those moments like oh like the imposter syndrome basically like we think we're still trying to like faking it you know like oh no
Yeah.
that's not me the person that you're seeing that is not me but you have actually done those things. Like you have been with those people. Like I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you right now. Like you have been with those people. You have worked with certain people. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that you define yourself by that at all. Like by the success of those people or anything. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
like. But it's just like you have the talent. That's why you got there, and like you have the drive for it, and that's how you got there. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes really hard to like give ourselves that credit which I think is amazing then to have like a like it's so important to have like a community like friends that don't like when I was a little younger I was always like oh no I'm gonna like stay with like my day one friends and everything and I still do have some like of course but I also realized like as far as I like took this more and more serious, and I was like, no, I really want to like go for it. I realized I do need friends also that have the same, like that go through the same things. Because if you don't have those people, you just feel like the people around you don't understand your struggles, and
Mm-hmm.
you feel so like ungrateful for the things that have happened to you. They just make you feel ungrateful, basically,
Mm-hmm.
without wanting to. But like you said earlier um it's about like the daily things also you know going out for a walk like doing things on the daily basis that you actually enjoy like enjoy your life while you like do that and not just like having these great moments, and like those things don't just make you happy. Like it's great that
Mhm.
you have them, but they don't necessarily make you happy. And sometimes you end up with people in a room where you were like, oh wow, I always want to like hang out with those people, and then you're like, these are not, they don't really have the vibe of like the people
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's celebrities that aren't happy. There's people that have $1 million or multi-million dollars, $1 billion, and still aren't happy. So it's just kind of like you have to find what it is that makes you happy, you know. Um, so that's why it goes back to me saying too, like, um, I don't want to just make music or art in general just for the sake of, well, I'm gonna do this and get a lot of money. You know, it's just like,
nice side
I don't
effect.
know. Yeah, because it's like that if you only operate off of that, it won't make you happy in the long run. I mean, money is great, you know, obviously, like we all need it. You know, you can do more things with it, but if that's the only thing you base it off of, is like, I'm just trying to get rich, so that's the only reason I'm doing art. Like, you might hit something, you might strike gold with something, but the ones who are truly like wealthy in it and also continue to stay in it, they, one, put out amazing art and they love to talk about art, and they're also smart with how they maneuver business wise. Like, you look at, um I mean, so many people. Look at Rihanna, right? Like, Rihanna's put out great music, but Rihanna's also an amazing businesswoman. Um, Same with so many people. Pharrell's the same way. Like, there's a lot of people that operate like that and are just really smart with how they maneuver in the business. And they also just, at the end of the day, put out amazing, amazing records. Um, and art's one of the few ways where, like, it don't really matter what type of art you do. I feel like all artists in some way, shape, or form are a lot alike. Like, we're all kind of weird. We're all like, you have to be a little delusional. Who said that?
Calling me
I,
delusional? Thanks, I take that as a compliment.
yeah, because like you kind of have to, because like, in order to, I know for me, like, making music to be like, wow, like, there's millions of people out there that make music, and I'm in it because I love it, but also you're competing still with a lot of other people to make records. Like, you have to be pretty crazy to work in it, you know. But artists are like some of the main people I feel like in the world who can really just resonate with one another, because it's like, you know, I don't paint at all. I can make a stick figure, but like, we can still have a convo. I feel like if somebody who does, like, an engineer tries to talk to I don't know, an accountant, like, it's like, hey, what do you do? Well, I do mechanical engineering. Okay, what do you do? Well, I'm an accountant. Like, it's kind of like two different worlds. So unless it's like both people that work with money who might understand, like, if somebody tries to talk to me about finance, I'm just gonna be zoned out, because it's like, that's not what I'm really interested in, you know. But as an artist, it's kind of like, okay, well, there's so much that we all resonate with, and a lot of us kind of all have similar upbringings, to where it's like, okay, like, we made music as an escape. Um, we do it because we like, the ones that really love it. Unless you're just like, man, I went to a party and heard some beats and I don't want to make beats. So it's like, no, but it's like, yo, like, I did it because I loved it. You know, had to cut off some people, used it as an escape. Uh, and the feeling I got when I made my first beat or painted my first picture is like the feeling I still get to this day. So it's kind of like, yeah, artists, we're a lot alike in a
we're
lot of
all
ways.
we're all just like it's just like a bucket full of crazy people who are like dealing with the traumas with like
Yeah,
creating like
yeah,
basically. I
honestly.
like you said earlier that you were like homeschooled, and I was, I don't know, like you seem like you'd never really had the like, oh, I'm doing this right now. I'm doing like the self doubt about it. I wonder if that's maybe because you were like homeschooled and you didn't really have the like comparison of being like in school and like those groups in there, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I being homeschooled, like, I wasn't really subjected to a lot of stuff. Like, I really didn't have to deal with bullying, but like, I mean, I've still had some kids to pick on and make fun of me and stuff, but like, it was never like, oh, I gotta deal with this every day, like. So growing up, I just kind of, even then, I didn't like. I just kind of did my own thing, like, and like I said, I didn't really have too many friends back then, but like, I yeah, I just kind of did whatever. Like, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make music. I'm gonna sit in my room and just make music all day, and it wasn't me trying to like. I didn't compare myself to anybody. It wasn't like, oh well, my other friends are doing this, so I should. No, it was just kind of like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, I want to make music. I know, years from now, I want to travel the world and go to different studios, work with different artists, have stuff on radio, and that's what I wanted to do. So I was just like, whatever it takes. Like, just gonna lock in and do that. Whether that means not going out, and not doing stuff. That's pretty much how I spent all of my high school um, life and some of college. And yeah, so you know,
Well, like it's so calming to like hear that because I mean, first of all, I think it's amazing that you didn't really like care at all that like what other like that you just trusted yourself so much because like for me,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I was doubting myself with everything. Like I
yeah,
thought at some point I could not make a realistic decision about anything. I became so self insecure with seriously the smallest things, like was just like picking the right ice cream, for example, or whatever. You know, it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to like this ice cream basically because
yeah,
like I really got like through some bullying because I like just went for what I thought I wanted and I like the way it got perceived or anything because it was different from what I mean. I grew up in a small town in Germany and like that's just like a people are not very open. Like I was the only girl, for example, that played soccer until I was like 14 or something.
oh,
People
wow.
were people are calling me like a boy and everything just because I wanted to play soccer. And at some point, I thought I had to be a boy to like play soccer. You
Hmm.
know, I still did those things, and I'm honestly sounds maybe weird, but I'm really, really grateful for all the bullying that I went through because I had to ask myself basically questions back then that people are like asking themselves right now, and are like making decisions based off of that. And I'm grateful for all of that because without that, I would not be where I'm at right now, and I'm really happy about where I'm at
Yeah,
right now. I mean, I'm still struggling every day with like certain things, you know, but um, yeah, it's really like also like it's calming to hear that these like when you don't go out and everything like sometimes like you feel like you're always like you do it for your dream, you do this to like but you don't see the results right away.
yeah,
Like that's the thing, like you're sitting inside and then you're like comparing yourself with like people. Like I also didn't really go to college in the way of like my other friends did,
hmm,
and I have a really complicated backstory. But I don't know. I saw them like living life and going there and doing that, and I was just like, it's Saturday night, and I'm doing this and that, and I love doing it. But am I doing this right? Because you don't get the like for when people go to college or something, like you get the pat on the shoulder from like after that if you get a job, if your boss talks good to you, you always have this like these checkpoints basically of oh yeah I'm doing something right or so. And I don't know, it's like an artist, you just gotta trust and love what you're doing, like you said, to
Yeah,
like you just gotta like do it. There's not like you cannot like think about what would happen if it doesn't work out or something. You just gotta like trust in yourself, trust in your craft, trust in the love of just like doing it, and hope for the best maybe.
yeah,
Because you
yeah,
don't have those like results.
yeah. And I mean, there were things that I guess growing up that I didn't really do that I was kind of like, oh man, like kind of wish I had did that instead of just being in my room all day. But I mean, it is what it is. Like it's in the past now. I mean, it's you know, there's
I
not
mean,
really anything you
where it
can do.
led to you.
You said what?
Look where you're at right now for that. Like,
Yeah, and talking now with like friends I came up with. Now they're in like corporate jobs, and they're like, "Oh man, like it's so cool what you're doing." And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, I don't. I try not to live in the past of like, oh, I should have done this different. I should have done that. It's just kind of like, hey, just got to keep it chugging, like and make new experiences. Um, so yeah, keep it chugging, keep it chugging.
just keep on doing it, And like,
Yeah,
yeah, also like making experiences now that your friends haven't like made like 5 years ago or something.
yeah,
Like it's so they're like, oh, this is so cool, but we're like, okay, yeah, maybe this seems cool in your perception, but I never did this and this and this, and I would like kill for that, not kill, but like I would love to, like I would
yeah,
love to have that experience. And
yeah,
they just seem success, and like we all have like a different definition of like success and happiness, and
absolutely.
like I would have loved to like done or experience some things that my friends have, and they're maybe like just wish they would have like chosen a different route to like do something that I have been doing. And it's like, no, we're all just here having, like you said, experiences, and you might experience something right now that I will experience at like the age of 50,
Yeah.
and like then I will learn about that. But I hate how this whole like I don't like to like talk about society as like this big bad thing or something, but
Mhm.
how we're always so programmed about having certain experiences or knowing something by a certain age or having achieved something.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the greatest people, they like achieved like their biggest hits or whatever in their like 50s, 80s, whatever.
Mhm.
And people just don't realize it. Like it's such pressure to like make it young or something, which is so sad.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, Quincy Jones did Thriller at like 50. So I mean, I don't think there's a like a timestamp on anything. Uh, I know me personally though, I'm just kind of impatient, so I'm just like, "Oh, I need this now. Like, I'm gonna go out and work my butt off so I can at least by the time I get to 30, like I'm gonna be a millionaire, um, so I can enjoy my 30s as a millionaire. But I know that's how I look at it. But I mean, everything happens
In
in due
its due
time.
way. Like
Yeah,
I say this now, like, oh, there's no time frame, but I have that like I still want that. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
still want to have like somebody said once, oh, the 30s are just like your 20s with money, basically.
yeah,
And I still want to be able to like I mean, I eat all like I always try to like be my best. Like I work out a lot. Like also this is something that lots of people don't really combine with like all of that, how important it is to like actually take care of your body and your mind, and like it's a whole different thing. But
it
I
definitely is.
just like I want to be the best at everything that I'm doing, and it doesn't matter in what like direction. And yeah, I also just want to be, I want that success that I set for myself with 30 so I can set also another goal. I just want to like go up. So I say this now, but oh, there's no time frame. But I'm also like super impatient and I just want to
Yeah.
go as soon as possible. That's also why I said like when I have like my birthday is coming up,
Hey, happy
month
birthday.
before, I'm always already like, oh, like I said earlier, oh, I'm 25. I'm not 25, but in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm almost 25, so I am 25, so I'm almost 26, and that's almost 30. So I'm like,
Oh.
and it's like,
Yeah,
but
I
I have
do that
to
too.
change anything, and then it's like, wait, calm down. You're still not even in the middle of like being 20, but my brain is just like so wired of like going
Yeah,
for it, making it, and that energy. Like I'm so impatient that it's like, oh wait, I sometimes do get delusional.
yeah. Nah, that definitely happens. But everything in perfect time. But no, it also is important to just like overall, just like to eat right, work out, like mind and body. Because I just had that realization this year. Because like going to the studio and stuff is so demanding because it's like you gotta drive to the studio and then you gotta sit in a chair for hours on end and then it's just like you gotta travel. There were times I was going to 3 studio sessions in one day, and wouldn't get home until 4 a.m. So it's kind of like, and then you gotta do it the next day. So, I was just, oh, I was so bad. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything. So, like, you kind of need to have mind and body and everything just active and working. So you're not just like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything today. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
sit and sleep. Like, no, like you gotta be able to, maneuver. That's how artists are when they're on tour. That's why they gotta, stay fit because you don't, you might miss some tour dates. Then your fans
Yeah.
hate you. Like, oh, I can't believe you didn't come to our show. Like, spent all that money. And it's like, oh well. But yeah, so no, all that's important. Definitely important.
Actually, it's
Definitely.
funny because like I had a question, like I wrote like three questions down to like get the whole like thing started basically because I was like, okay, this is the second time we're recording. I need to like, if we
Yeah.
don't get into a conversation, I need to have things to like ask or something. And one of those things is just something I always think is so interesting, and I ask people that like all the time. It doesn't matter who they are, basically. Like if they have certain like routines or habits like that brings them into like the workflow or whatever. Like for me, I have like my routines are maybe it's kind of unhealthy, I think, for me at this point because I'm like so how you say this um like I need to have these routines, otherwise I don't have like the safety feel of like okay everything is fine. um but like I love working out, getting up early and like doing like a workout and like reading before and like just certain things that like set me
Mhm.
right for the day. And at night I kind of have the same thing. I don't like at night. I always don't always like do that. Like I definitely I'm so far from perfect from these things. But I don't know. I'm always like wondering because like those little habits daily that you have, they like it's the same with like making music or producing anything or like becoming a good like artist in any direction. It's not that we're like, oh, we're born like this. It's
Mhm.
like we just do this every day for a certain amount of time over years or something and become good at it. It's basically a skill. Like obviously we sometimes like for me I was a visual person. You like probably like just had the like a special hearing or something, but we still work for it. So I think it's always like so interesting to like hear about other people's habits or what basically like you said earlier also like a walk a day or something without headphones, which I
Mhm.
actually also got into recently. I was like, wow, the world is so different if you actually like engage with it and you're not always like kind of caught up.
Amazing.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, to get into making, I usually just get up and eat breakfast, maybe I'll usually do a lot of my working out and walks and stuff like in the evening. But I mean, there'll be some days I go with just not making any music. Um, and I might go out, see some friends or family, or uh, I don't know. I watch a lot of anime, so I'll sit and just watch anime all day, and then uh, I like to listen to a lot of new music also. So like sometimes if I just hear something that just really inspires me, I'll be like, oh man, like I gotta do something with that. Um, like it's hard for me to just sit and like just I'm gonna make something today. Like I don't know, but I always try to work my creative muscles. I usually try to make stuff as much as possible. But honestly, I really like to just work with artists too, though. Like I like to sit and just create stuff like as ideas. Um, but I also like to actually get in with artists. So like say like if you're a singer, like I like to just where it's like we're on like a FaceTime call or something, or if we're actually at the studio together and then, we just talk and then we kind of just make stuff from there. I like that. I like working with a lot of vocals, but yeah, I can't really say what like a daily routine of getting into making stuff. It just kind of just like
I mean, you don't have to have one, but
yeah, it's
I
just
always
kind of
like
like
wonder if like people have things because I feel like yeah, some people do have things that just kind of give them a safe feeling, or they're like, okay, every time before I create, I do this and that, or they have like a routine into like starting something, but not having a routine is also basically a routine, basically.
yeah. I mean, honestly, watching a lot of TV shows and movies, weirdly enough, gets me inspired. Like, yeah, like I was watching when I was watching Euphoria, like Labyrinth, how he did the music for it. It was just like, oh, this is so amazing. So like that inspired me. Um, Watching certain animes, seeing like the action scenes and stuff like that
Yeah.
inspired me. Going to the movies, I saw the Spider Verse movie, like that inspired me with how they had some of the music in there from Metro. So it was like, yeah, going to concerts even, like when I went to go see Paramore, I was just like, oh, I need to go home and make some music so I can get like that. And yeah, so there's so many different things that I guess you could say inspire me. But like, yeah, usually if I just start like after this, if I just open up my music project and find something that I think sounds dope, then like I'm all in. But like if I don't find anything that sparks interest, I'll probably just be like, I'm done. But
Yeah.
it's weird. Or if I make a beat that I don't like and then an artist starts coming up with an idea over it, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of hard. And it's like, okay, it gets you excited about it again. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you're like kind of where we like also talked about a little earlier that you just create when you're inspired. You just like use the energy of whatever you're doing. Like I always have that, like you said, you like to talk to like artists and just like see what's up basically. And
Yeah.
I also have that like when I talk to people that I feel like I connect with, and I feel like also like the connection, like for example the talk we have right now, it's not like a back and forth conversation really. It's more of like a thought of consciousness and we're just following it. We're just like
Mhm.
seeing where it basically goes. And if I like have these talks and with people that give energy back to me or something, afterwards I'm always like so like, okay, I want to create, I want to like do this, I want to do that. Like I think it's so important to like remember to like what we said earlier, to like live life, but in the way how we want to live life, not in the way how anybody tells us to basically like go out, go on a party. Like if that doesn't give you energy, don't try to force it. Like if you're an introvert, don't try to force it. Like I yeah.
There's
But
so many yeah, there's so many times where I don't want to be around people, like, and but it's like there's so much out there in the world, and it's uh, like I went to London in January, and it was like people were like, "Are you gonna bring your laptop to make music?" They're like, "You have to make one beat out in London." I was like, why? Like, I'm not paying for a trip overseas just to sit and do something I do at home. Just to say I made this beat in London. Like, I mean, like you can go out there and work on music, but I was like, I actually just want to go and experience what it's like over there. And so, like, when I came back, I got so many ideas from like the way they have soul music out there, and uh, drum and bass is huge out there, and like UK garage and all that type of stuff. So,
Is there anything on your mind you like still feel like I don't know, it doesn't matter what it is?
oh man, just for artists to just be consistent and trust trust yourself that I mean, just make art for making art and not for, just other reasons, but, just make it, do it because you love it first and then the rest will follow. So, yeah.
Nice question. And I like to make things random. So, like, what is your favorite food? I'm gonna ask everybody that.
Oh man. Oh, well, it's only hard now because I've changed up my eating so much because it used to be like pizza and Chick-fil-A and stuff,
We
but
can still like that, you know, like just
I mean,
because
it
you
is, but I don't really eat it as much. But yeah, I mean, pizza is probably still. Uh, I like gyros a lot too.
it's so funny because we call those things over here like euro, you know, like a euro is for us like a dollar, like it's
Oh
our
yeah,
like, you know? And I
yeah.
had a conversation with somebody from like my host brother back then, and while I was living in Atlanta, and he was talking about euros, and I was like, what? How do you want to eat a euro? Like, what is going on? Like,
Oh wow.
and we call them döner, and
Hmm.
so for everybody who's from Germany, that a hero is a dinner. No outro planned. I don't even know how. So I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope anybody could like take away some of it or just like get inspired by some of the things that you you said. And I also hope you had a great time and
I
you
did.
I don't know.
Yes, it was amazing. Thank you for having me.
Of course, dude. Of course. Thanks for saying yes. I was just like, that was one of those moments again. I was like, I kind of want to ask, but is
Oh
that
yeah.
good? I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, what is my life anyway? Like,
No, this has been great. This has definitely been great. Great time. Great time.
hey, is it stopping? It's not even stopping.
It still says
Oh, no.
uh